There was something you talked about on your podcast that was interesting about developmental periods of people's lives, like 0 to 7, 7 to 13, 13 to 25, 25 plus. I'm curious, because it's kind of going back into elementary school and things like that. Explain that concept and how that fits into you as a leader trying to persuade and move people as well.
Yeah, so it's such a good question. There are 4 developmental periods, just like we just talked about. 0 to 7 is the first developmental period. And during that period of time, it's defined, cognitively, it's defined as a period where everything is learned. Everything is learned. Everything they hear, everything they see, everything they taste, everything they touch. From 0 to 7, it's all given equal gravity, right?
It's the best age too. Kids in that's like how old are your kids?
I have an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Okay, yeah.
I agree completely. 0 to 7 is
the best.
Absolutely.
That's why people keep having kids. That's why we had 5, because we're like, we need another one of these. And then they all code out, and then it's like, what were we thinking? Anyway, I should have said, I love all my kids. You're all great. But you were the best during like 3 to 6 or 7. Anyway.
It's so true. I say 5 to 7. 5 to 7 is like magic.
So much fun, yeah.
Magic. But in that period of time, everything's equal. Mom and dad are equal. Whether they see something that's true or whether they see something that's false, it doesn't matter. To them, it's real. From 7 to 13 is the next developmental phase. And this is a hard developmental phase because everything they hear, they still absorb it. They can't reject it yet. They still absorb it. But now they apply priority to what they absorb. So I really like science. I'll pay more attention to science. I don't really like math. I'll pay less attention to math. But they can't resist absorbing it. So that's why we may have all hated learning about the Revolutionary War, but we still remember it. We couldn't resist it. So from 0 to 13 is this phase in a child where they simply can't resist learning. But from 13 to about 25, you learn how to resist. You still have this incredible capacity for absorption, but now you not only can prioritize, you can also reject information. And that's why we have such a hard time with people between 13 and 25, because if they don't want to listen to you, they just learned how to not listen to you. And they're going to keep practicing that skill over and over again. And similarly, when they do get their teeth into something that they like, whether it's M&M or whether it's, some video game, when they're into it, they are literally dedicating resources to this thing that they're interested in. And they might even struggle with how to pull themselves out. This age is also defined by a high tolerance for risk because they don't understand repercussions. So from 13 to 25, almost all of us, when you think back on the stupidest things that you've ever done in your life,
what window did it happen?
It was probably that window.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't assess risk. You never thought you might fall off the motorcycle. You never thought you might crash the mountain bike. You never thought for a second that maybe it's a bad idea to speed in the rain. You don't even think about it, right? And then from 25 on, all of your beliefs, all of your values, all of your mental habits are set. There's still something called neuroplasticity, which means you can still change the way you think, but you no longer have the ability to absorb everything, and you have learned how to control both your prioritization and your rejection sides of your cognitive brain. So you can prioritize what to learn, when to learn it, and you can reject things that you don't want to learn. The problem is that for the vast majority of people after 25, they don't think any differently than the way they thought at 25. They just stay in the same groove forever. They have neuroplasticity, but they never exercise it. And the small group that actually discovers that they can change the way they're wired, they can change the way they think, that group goes on to have exponentially more success than the average bear. So those are the 4 developmental groups. And the reason I think those are so valuable is because if you're trying to sell, for me, my target is nobody under the age of 25. It's completely out of my control under the age of 25. If they're interested, they're interested. If they're not interested, they're not interested. And there's nothing I can say, nothing I can do, no content I create that's going to change it. So why even target them? Why not just do what I do and let 25 to 0 essentially be free leads, free money, free whatever else, assuming they even have a credit card. So I target above 25. Even more than that, I target 10 years after 25. I don't want a customer between 25 and 35 because the vast majority of those people haven't yet learned how to change the way they think.
They haven't gotten enough pain yet to want to. Yeah, I similar thing. People are 25 to 35, like they are in a state of sedation. Most people, where they're like, they've got the job, they got the thing, and they're stuck in that thing. And most people don't break out of it, but the ones who do break out, like that's the sweet. Anyway,
and they may not even realize they're stuck. They think that they're succeeding.
Oh yeah.
How many 28-year-olds have an $80,000 a year job and they're like, I'm doing really good, and you're like, just the train's coming, buddy. The train's coming. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
So I really look for that ideal customer for me. I already know is between 40 and 55. because that's where life is painful. Multiple kids, aging parents, mid-career to late career. If you were successful when you were 28 or 32, your rate of success has significantly declined by the time you're 40. Very few people are succeeding more after 40 than they were before 40 if they're successful, high-performing people. So they're looking for a level up, and they have already demonstrated to themselves that they can follow process, they can follow systems, they can follow concepts. And that's exactly what I need them to have success with SPY processes and SPY frameworks, because all we teach is frameworks. Thank you. If we want them to have success with our frameworks, they have to believe in frameworks. And it's much easier for me as a startup. It was much easier for me to teach people who already believed in frameworks rather than try to teach people to trust frameworks.
So my world, my path, my customers seems very simple, because I'm like, you don't have a business, you create a business, you launch a business, you scale a business, and you have these trackers. Your audience seems like it could be so diverse. Someone's coming in and they could be not business people, all like become athletes or corporate people. Like, when someone's coming into your world, what's the end? Is there an end goal or end state, or who you're trying to help them to become? Is it inside of their own thing or something different? I'm curious what that looks like for you in your mind.
Yeah. So our business mission is very simple, right? SPY education that breaks barriers. All I want to do is break a barrier. We break barriers in 3 categories. 3 categories that CIA taught us to recruit people in. The 3 categories that you lay out in Expert Secrets, right? Health, wealth, relationships. That's it. All of CIA operations are there to identify whether a traitorous target wants better health, more wealth, or better relationships. That's it. So it was such a simple analog comparison for me. I was like, holy smokes, this is the national security.
CIA should hire me to come teach them some stuff.
if they haven't reached out to you, they really should. But they're in complete disarray right now. But
they have unlimited funding, so they should definitely reach out. I'd be willing. Just kidding.
I will negotiate a special expensive rate for you.
In the
current government shutdown.
Oh yeah, as soon as I open those doors back up and the money starts flowing, let's go.
But yeah, so I look at the same thing as health, wealth, and relationships. So we have essentially front-end offers in all 3. We have breakthroughs, attainable breakthroughs that take less than an hour in all 3, because we want someone to have break a barrier using a SPY skill. If we can just get them to break a barrier using a SPY skill and see that it works, they'll be in for the next step. They'll continue to go up the ascension ladder. And now when we need 2 weeks of their time before they break a barrier, they'll commit that. If we need a half a year of their time before they break a barrier, they'll commit to that.
Because they've seen the result earlier. Of the 3 categories, where do you skew heavier one direction? Are they all pretty even?
So I never would have guessed it. It was the last one that we built, and it is by far the most popular front end is health.
Oh, I thought business for sure. And I was like, no, it's going to be relationships. No.
Yeah. So I always thought it would be relationships. Weird. But it's health. And I think in hindsight, I think it's because with my target demographic, right, 40 to 55, they all feel health pain every day. They feel pain when they wake up. They feel pain when they try to poop, right? They feel pain because they don't eat enough. They don't get to the gym enough. They don't have enough energy for their kids. Like, they don't have enough energy for sex. They lose their hair. They gain their belly.
Relate to health then?
Because CIA teaches us how to be fit and deal with stress and how to eat diverse diets, because we travel all over the world. Like, they teach us all sorts of fitness hacks, mental health hacks, physical health hacks. They teach us this stuff all the time. So all we do is we teach people a little bit about how to drink water and have a nighttime routine before they go to sleep to improve their sleep. And it changes people immediately. It's amazing it's as simple as this is, right? Like 500 milliliters of water will literally change the way you feel in less than 15 minutes. I think we all know that, but I'm the one that, like, my company actually put it on a page and called it a challenge. And now all of a sudden
drink some water challenge.
Yeah, right? And now people are like, oh, this sounds like fake. And then they drink 500 milliliters of water at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then by 8:15, they feel really good. And they're like, wow.
It's not coffee or caffeine or just
exactly, right? So what we found is that we have all these breakthroughs with people on the health side so fast. And then because they see what strawberries in the morning can do for them, they see what water in the morning can do for them, they see what 5 minutes of a walk can do for them before they drink a cup of coffee. They make these these are monumental changes to a person's routine. Drink a glass of water, have a bowl of berries, and go for a walk before you drink a cup of coffee. All in, that's going to be 10 extra minutes in your morning. We're not taking your coffee away. We're just saying, try this. And then by the time their coffee is done brewing, they actually wonder if they even need their coffee. That's such a monumental change to ask for somebody when it comes to saying, hey, now pay $97 to join this once a month group. They're like, oh yeah, that's easy.
Yeah. You can see the value of that really fast. That's so cool.